to go over my record collection with you. I thought this would be amusing if anyone was interested in what kind of music I listen to. I have my dad's record player from the 1970s that he gave to me. It's huge, it came with 2 speakers. I'll show it later in this video playing a record, and I love it so much, so why don't we just get started and I'll show you my first record. I just bought this record recently. It's the soundtrack from Dr. Zhivago. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. I love Dr. Zhivago so much. And also, I love the made-for-TV series Dr. Zhivago with Keira Knightley. That's also an excellent movie, as well as the 1965 version. The second one is Beach Boys, and I found this record at Goodwill. It's the Wild Honey soundtrack. I love this so much. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to this record. It's insane, almost. I actually just bought this record. It's the Ragtime Piano Gal record, and I just knew from the cover that I would love it. I play piano. I've played since I was 5 years old. I love ragtime, especially. I love to play ragtime, and I just figured this would be an excellent album for me, so we'll see. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like this. Supertramp, this is Crisis What Crisis. I have a bunch of their albums, actually. They're one of my favorite oldies bands. My mom got me into Supertramp, and you'll see more Supertramp albums in this video. Harry Belafonte, classic. Oh my gosh, if you've ever seen Beetlejuice, then you'll know how amazing his songs are, because he basically did the whole Beetlejuice soundtrack. You should definitely listen to Harry Belafonte. Kiss, this is from my grandmother's antique store. She used to have records in her antique store. She doesn't have her store anymore, but she did give me some of her records. I don't listen to Kiss, but I think I might sell this one. It's probably worth some money. It's pretty old, and it has a booklet inside of all of the photos from their tour. So if anybody's interested in buying this, shoot me an email or comment on this video. Supertramp Crime of the Century. Another Supertramp album, which is really good. This actually has Dreamer, Rudy, and Bloody Well Right. Bloody Well Right is one of my favorite songs by Supertramp, especially on this album. So somebody once told me this was a stupid album cover, but you know what? It's not. The Boston Pops Orchestra, Fielder and Rags. I love this record so much. It was about 99 cents at Salvation Army. The Cabaret musical soundtrack with Liza Minnelli is totally amazing. If you haven't not seen Cabaret, I highly, highly, highly recommend you see Cabaret. One of my favorite plays ever. This is the vintage 1962 through 1966 album. I actually found this at Goodwill in St. Louis. This is an amazing find. It was only like 99 cents or $1.99, something like that. I absolutely love it. The Zombies, this is one of my new records. I love the Zombies so much. Even their stuff that's not on this album is totally amazing, like Roadrunner. Oh my god, their older stuff when they first came out, totally amazing. I love the Zombies so much. Basically, this is the Supertramp album that started it all for me, Breakfast in America. My mother has this on CD, so naturally I had to buy the LP of it. The Smiths Live, this is the Blue Live album, given to me by one of my friends a few years ago. I do love it. It's awesome. I love the Smiths. My mom also got me into the Smiths. It's pretty, I just love the Smiths. What else is there to say? I mean, who doesn't? The Bee Gees. I love this album so much. I mean, I love every album in my collection, but the Bee Gees are especially amazing. The Best of Blondie. This album actually skips. I bought it at some retro store in St. Louis downtown. But I still love Blondie. I mean, who doesn't love Blondie too? I know I say that a lot. Fleetwood Mac Mirage. I love Fleetwood Mac so much. I love Stevie Nicks, Edge of 17, ABBA. I think ABBA was like an inspiration for Wes Anderson. Maybe. They put a lot of work into their album covers. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. They are awesome, and I'm a huge fan of Neil Young. My mom is a huge fan of Neil Young. So perfect, right? Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. I cannot express how much I love the Jackson 5. Seriously, love Motown music. This has I Want You Back, I'll Be There, ABC, Rockin' Robin, Maybe Tomorrow, Got to Be There, I Wanna Be Where You Are. It's amazing. I love this album so much. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend. Fleet Foxes, which I fell in love with. This is actually their first album with Sun It Rises. I mean, it has Ragged Wood, it has Mykonos, and it's just a totally beautiful album, and my mom dropped it on the floor. So some of it's broken, but oh well. Another Blondie album. This was given to me by my friend Ryan. The Monkees, given to me by my grandma. This also used to be in her antique store. Another album of the Monkees. Little River Band, which is also another band my mother got me into. She always used to listen to this album, so I think of it very fondly. And it starts with Lonesome Loser, which is a great song. It's such a great song. You should definitely listen to Little River Band if you get the chance to. Little River Band Greatest Hits has this naked lady, or she's not naked, has this lady swimming in her swimsuit. Georgia Gibbs Greatest Hits, if you know her song Kiss of Fire, that's what attracted me to this album, was Kiss of Fire. Simon and Garfunkel, you can't go wrong with Simon and Garfunkel. Of course, Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Cat Stevens, I mean, I don't think that I would have a record album without this one, Teaser and the Firecat. And my mom also got me into Cat Stevens. I love this album so much. Look at him, he's so beautiful. I just don't know what to do. Billy Joel, Glass Houses. Shout out to my cat dad, Elliot Jurek. Loves Billy Joel so much. Every time he would come over, he would play this album. Doris Day. Beautiful. I love Doris Day. She has the voice of an angel. The Pretenders, Learning to Crawl. My mom loves the Pretenders and would always play this whenever I was a little girl. This is the beginning of my classical music addiction. George Gershwin. I mean, come on. You have to know George Gershwin. This is an amazing record sleeve for like 5 records or something. I picked very carefully between like 3 George Gershwin albums, and I picked this one specifically because I bought it at Vintage Vinyl in St. Louis, and it's actually the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, so they're playing the Gershwin concert music, which is pretty cool because I bought it in St. Louis at my favorite record store. Breakfast at Tiffany's soundtrack by Henry Mancini. If you know. If you haven't seen Breakfast at Tiffany's or heard Moon River, I used to play Moon River on piano when I was really young in a vintage book my grandma got for me. And I never saw the movie until a few years ago, but now I truly appreciate this soundtrack so much, and Henry Mancini is also really amazing, and this movie is just amazing. I hated it the first time I saw it, but it keeps growing on me more and more. But I mean, Funny Face will always be my favorite Audrey Hepburn movie no matter what. Talking Heads, my mom got me into this. I actually stole this album from my mom. So she never said anything to me about it. She never said it was missing or anything, so. This is them on the back with their individually made costumes, which is so amazing. Donna Summer, The Wanderer. I love this album so much. Oh my gosh. Diana Ross and the Supremes. Live at the London's Talk of the Town. Inspirational, Get Up and Move Your Booty music. Diana Ross and the Supremes, Greatest Hits. Harvest by Neil Young. Can't go wrong, ever, with this album. And I thought this was a car door mirror at first, but it's actually a doorknob. Much debate over that. I don't know how I thought it was a car door mirror, but Elton John, his Greatest Hits. Dan Fogelberg. I actually have to return this to my mom because this is more of her music, but I do like this album, but she's more into Dan Fogelberg than me. Donnie and Marie. This is another album from my grandmother Cooch's antique store. I They are cool cats. Don't you agree? No. Lionel Richie, I keep this around because of one reason. This is the reason I keep this album around. The soundtrack to West Side Story, another one of my favorite plays. Neil Young, After the Gold Rush. Neil Young is such a hottie with a body. The Rolling Stones, Greatest Hits. My grandma also had this in her store. I love this album. Carly Simon, my mom got me into this album. She loves Carly Simon, and I think about my mom every time I listen to this. This is, if you don't know Carly Simon, you know the You're So Vain song, Clouds in My Coffee, you know Carly Simon. That's on this album. Psychic Twin. I have two of the Psychic Twin albums given to me by Erin, the lead singer, because she's awesome and I love her, and she took me to my first party in New York City, so thank you, Erin, for being so amazing. I hope to see you soon. Your music is totally awesome and inspiring, and I've been listening to Erin before I met her. I've been listening to Erin for like 6 or 7 years, back when she had her band called Headlights. She lives in Brooklyn, and she's totally amazing and beautiful and hilarious and so hardworking and inspiring. I love you, Erin. Last but not least, this is Love Roller Coaster by the Ohio Players, which I got 2 years ago on Record Store Day in Champaign. Roller coaster of love, say what? Those are all of my albums. I always get new ones or collect new ones that I love or think I might like. If you have any suggestions for me based on what you've seen in my album collection, let me know. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Bye! Bye!